Hey everyone, I'm Aria and welcome to another speed build. So today I am building a little cottage in the forest area of Bagley. This lot is where the rental lot is. I really liked the surroundings of this one. It's right across from the creature keeper's house and the ruins. I thought it was perfect for a little woodland home. There's a couple of the water spawners that I haven't used yet, like the little alligator, I think it is, or a crocodile or something, and there's another one that's like the firefly spawner, but I think it's flies. And I haven't used that. I haven't really found anywhere. It might be like mozzies or something, and I thought this was the perfect place to use them. So there's like a little swamp around this cottage and a little garden area, because I think in all of my builds I'm just going to be adding chickens and gardening plots now. But this one is quite dark in color. I really liked the look of these windows. I think I've used them once, but they kind of just looked very, I don't know, like fairy tale to me, you know, so I wanted to use them on a more fantasy kind of style build. I put this little like dock thing here. I wasn't sure if it was going to work at first. It didn't when I was playtesting it until I put it down in the basement and then elevated it from like the basement. So this is actually placed in the basement. I could have put it on the top and, you know, moved it like that, but I initially was trying not to use tall, and then when I decided on the roof decorations, that kind of went out the window and I ended up using the tall mod again. So this is a 2-bedroom cottage. There's like the main bedroom and then more of a spare room that I eventually, once I finish recording, I decorate in more of like a crafting room. I kind of decorate it on camera as like a spare room. I didn't really know what I wanted it to look like. I hadn't really planned it. Initially I thought, oh, it would be like a children's room, and then it was just like a spare room, because my idea for the sim who lived here kind of changed from like just a loner kind of sim to maybe they're like a spellcaster or something. And then I thought, oh, maybe I'll just change it to like just a crafting room with a bed in it, then whoever wants to play in it can just change that to whatever they like. So these decorations here are from Snowy Escape. I really liked the way that the wood beam on the top curved slightly, and I liked the little decoration that it had on it too. And then these, I think they're IV from the base game. These ones rotate. There's one from Jungle Adventure that rotates as more of like a fern, but none of the others do. So I like to use this one because I can just move it to wherever I want. And I put these pretty much all over the roof. I think it looks really nice as extra decoration, just as, I don't know, it looks more overgrown, like mossy. I really like these roof textures that we got with Cottage Living, but when I saw that they had like a green kind of look to it, I was really excited, thinking that they were going to be a bit more green than they are. And then when I put them down, you know, when I put it on the roof, I was not disappointed, but I was like, oh, I thought it was going to be a little bit more, I don't know, just look a little bit older than it does. It just kind of changes the color of it slightly. I thought it was going to actually have like moss on it. So anyway, I thought I'd put these little ivy pieces on it just to make it look like there is actually, you know, plants growing on the roof. So this is the little like swamp kind of thing that I put down. I didn't put it all the way around the lot, just a little bit around the front. And the 2 trees that I've used are base game. I haven't restricted packs in this build at all, but I do want to do some more of those. I'm thinking maybe with like Discover University or something. They've got very similar styles, and some of the swatches are kind of the same, so you could probably get away with using them. So I think I'll probably try and use that one next, and try and build in a different world other than Bagley for, you know, the time being. Just to change it up a little bit, because I have built here for like the last 2 weeks, I think. So I just want to change it up for people that maybe don't have the pack. I think I'll probably still use the pack, but you know, just to show that it can be used in other worlds as well. So we completely skipped over those lights that I put on an angle. They are from, I think they're from Jungle Adventure, and I was trying lots of different posts and things to see which ones rotated, and the lights did, which I was quite pleased with. So I've angled them slightly so that they look like support beams for the roof, but the lights also work, so it creates like a nice kind of glow at nighttime. So these are the little like mozzie bush things that I put down. I really like the way that they kind of just change the whole feel of this lot. I do put the ducks and the turtles in, and then I put an alligator in here just because I didn't actually realize how big it was. I just wanted it to look a little bit more swampy. I end up using the same water swatch as I have done in all of the ponds that I've created so far. I do like the mossy ones and the ones with like the leaves on, but this one to me looks more pond like because it's got like dead sticks and stuff. I think it's meant to be you know, just like a little bit not overgrown, but like it's not meant to be very nice. I think it's meant to be like the gross swatch. But I think it looks really nice as just like a regular pond, because most of them you would see under trees and things, so they would have leaves and bits of sticks and things in, and they're not always like clear. They're usually quite full of algae. So I think this one's kind of the perfect in between. The other ones I think are a little bit too much for me, so I'll probably carry on using this one. So I just carry on adding the landscaping in. I didn't really try and limit the amount of different items that I use with this. I tried more to keep with a very similar, like, I don't know, not the same color scheme, but I wanted lots of different plants or bushes that had different like green shades, because most of them I've noticed that they all seem to have the same like shade of green, and that's not really very natural. So I do try and use like different ones from different packs, because they are slightly different shades of green, which I think looks a little bit more natural. I will forever use these like grass items now, because I think they just look really cool. So I added this little bit in here because I've used this on a couple of builds now. These are from the base game. They're a little parapet that I think is meant to be more of like an Oasis spring kind of decoration item, is what I've kind of seen it more used in that world. But I think they look really nice, turned kind of on an angle and used as a roof trim. I've used them a couple times. I've uploaded a 5-tile wide room to the gallery for anybody that would like to use them in their own build. I think they look really cute for little cottages, so it's there if anybody wants it. So we're moving on to the inside now. I've almost completely decorated the lounge room. I knew what I wanted to do with this pretty much straight away. I really like this wallpaper from paranormal stuff, sorry. Unfortunately, when I was trying to find a swatch for like the sofa and the chairs and everything, they were all very similar, and I didn't want everything to be, you know, the same color. I wanted it to be a little bit clashy because I thought this is like an older cottage. It's a little bit more run down. I've put cracks and spider webs and things everywhere, and I thought, you know, it's probably the perfect place for an off the grid lot, but this isn't off the grid because I really wanted to use these wall lights. So I've tried to just make it look a little bit darker, a little bit older. So there's, like I said, there's rocks, cracks and spider webs, and I've tried to kind of minimize the lighting a little bit so it's not very like bright in here. The furnishing's quite dark, and yeah, I just thought it was, I don't know, to me it's cozy, but to other people, it will probably make them feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's, you know, like this bathroom to me feels very cold, but I think that's because of like the tiled flooring and everything, and it is quite dark in here. I did struggle trying to find bathroom furniture that matched. I think if we had bathroom furniture that matched the bathtub, I think that would be really nice. I was trying to get like the plumbing color to match and I couldn't find anything that was in this like copper or the blue that I've used. It was quite tough. But I don't really add too much more in here, just a little bit more decoration. I originally wasn't going to add any of these things, but because of like the wall space, I didn't know what to put up there, and I didn't want to add like more pictures, so I tried out like the spider webs and the wall cracks, and they just seemed to fit really well, so I end up putting them everywhere. So now onto the kitchen. I do add another dining room table in here, like a bigger one. I did put one in the lounge room. I originally kind of designed that lounge room before I had built it and had more of like a tiny home in mind. So I put the dining room in there, or like the dining table in there, thinking that I'd have like just a kitchen and then maybe like a bathroom and a bedroom off the kitchen. And then as I was building the shell, the kitchen area kind of ended up a lot bigger than I had like originally thought. So I ended up with all this space that I didn't know what to do with. So I thought it was probably good for just like another dining room table, and maybe you could turn that into like a desk area or something, even though there is a desk in the spare room. I don't know. I did have trouble with those rugs, as you could see. The one from Vampires was pretty much perfect. I think they're both from Vampires actually. I don't know. The bigger one that I used by the door I wanted by the sink, but I couldn't get it to jump up and sit on the platform. It kept on trying to sit underneath, which was really annoying, but the other one seemed to fit there perfectly. So I don't do too much for this entryway. Just a nice table from Cottage Living with I think it's a cats and dogs lamp, and then I end up putting, I think it's just this, and then maybe a plant. I didn't want to put too many. I would really like to have some like key clutter or something. I probably could have used Mrs. Crumplebottom's bag, but I don't know. I like putting them in there when I have like a very clear kind of idea of who the sim is that lives here, but in this case I don't know, my idea of the sim kind of changed as I was building, so it didn't really seem appropriate. I figured this sim probably was more likely to have a woven basket than a handbag, you know, if that makes sense. So yeah, I end up putting this picture from Paranormal Stuff in here. I originally wanted it above the sofa in the lounge room, but I couldn't find a swatch that matched very well. It was a little bit too closely, like the color of the frame matched too closely to the wallpaper, so I end up going with the Vampires one instead. In here is the main bedroom. I ended up doing a very similar shaped bedroom to one I've done before, and I didn't realize that until like I had already done it and then was like, oh, this looks really familiar, and then realized that I'd built this bedroom like pretty much exactly in a build previously. It just happened that way. I don't know. So this room is quite dark in here. I have playtested everything, so it does work. The plant that I put in the corner, I end up having to move back just a little bit because it's too close to the bed and my sim couldn't walk around it. I go back in with some cats and dogs curtains a little bit later. I think I end up using, I think it's a black swatch with like a brown trim on it. There wasn't really the right colour that I was looking for. I think I just wanted like a plain beige. It's this one I've used in the lounge room. I think I used everywhere except the bedroom. So I decorate up this little, like, is it a vanity unit, or I don't really know what you would call it. I originally put gosh, that's good English, putted. I originally put the team photo up on that unit, but I thought the one from the paranormal stuff fitted a lot better. So in here I tried not to use too much clutter, but I end up using quite a lot. So what I like to do, especially if I have a 4-tile wide kitchen, is put the cooker right in the middle and then give it a chimney, because I think especially in off the grid homes or older houses, most of the ovens were they're like wood fire ovens, so they would have a chimney attached to them, and I just like the look of having 2 chimneys on either side, like a chimney on either side of the build, and it just so happens that the kitchen was on this side so it got its own chimney, which means I have to use 2 end pieces to kind of fit the counter, you know, so then I don't think your Sims can cook on the end pieces. But we are almost done with the kitchen now. I just rearrange a couple of bits in here and add this item from, I think it's the base game, it's got some scrolls in it, I think it looks really cute. And then we move into the spare bedroom, which I end up, like I said, decorating in more of like a spare room, crafting room. I originally was going to have like a kids room, but then changed my mind. Anyway, this is pretty much it for this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think down below. Leave a like if you do like it, and consider subscribing if you haven't already and you do enjoy my content. So thank you so much again, and hopefully I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.